I had a baby at 19 and stayed in a toxic relationship until I was about 21. I moved back to my parents' home and finally started to go on random dates with people I would match on Tinder and Bumble. There was this one guy the first matched with who told me he was in some kind of computer technician and was in the army. I didn't really care cause I wasn't looking for anything serious and just wanted to get out of the house. We made plan to go to a bar in downtown Fremont here in Las Vegas. I never let anyone know where I live, so I told him I would meet him there. When I was getting in the car, he called me through the app and told me that the bar was packed and it's extremely loud, but he'll send me an address to another bar that he knows so we can have a more quiet date. Okay, that was fine. He sends me the address, but there was no name to the location. Normally it'll tell you if it was an in, out or something. But nothing. Okay, whatever, and trust me. There was many more red flags that I kept ignoring. Once I got to the area, I saw that there was no life around. The area had all boarded up windows, no names to the was used to be stores, restaurants. It was just an abandoned area in downtown. I know. It gets worse and I get stupider. I parked my car in the back of the bar, and there was only 2-3 other cars there on a Friday night around 7 p.m. I started walking from the back and this homeless man with his full cart looked at me and said, "What a pretty young thing like you doing in this area. You're going to get yourself hurt." Hurt was actually another word that started with an R and ended with ED anyways, another red flag ignored. I waved and just said, "Okay, thank you." Once I got inside, there was no bartender. There was this small table that wasn't even a table, it was one of those cord round thingies that are at construction sites. There were 3 men there and they stared right at me, then I saw a guy all the way in the back waving me down. I went to him and it was the guy I was supposed to meet. His name was Nathan. I'm positive it wasn't, but it was for that night. Anyways, I sat against the wall facing the door that I came in from and his back was turned to it. He told me he already got me my drink since I liked fruity drinks. I told him thank you but I can get my own, but he insisted. I took a tiny sip and sure as ish, the top of my mouth was tingling. I already knew. I put it down and said, "Wow, that is strong," acting like I actually took a big drink from it. He was pressuring me to drink it all, but I told him to chill because I like taking my time and I am driving, so I won't be getting another anytime soon. I kept pretending to take sips from it and the whole time he kept turning back to look at the door as if he was waiting for someone else. Lucky for me, I had 2 fake palm trees next to me and I acted like someone came in, so when he looked I quickly dumped it in one of the plants and acted like chugged it. He got excited and we spoke a little more, then he told me there are rooms in the back for more privacy. When I looked, there was a hallway with holes in the wall and curtains. I told him I'd rather do it in the privacy of his home and after a few minutes he agreed. We walked to the parking area and he tried to get me in his car. I told him I need to take my car to make sure it doesn't get towed or broken into. He made it clear that I was to follow him and at all lights we were going to stop at yellow lights. Told him I got it, so we started driving. There was a street where he went past the green light and I did a sharp turn and got into the neighborhood and I started zipping up and down until I found a family who was outside. I got out of the car and told them a guy was following me and if I can just HDE out. I gave them my wallet and ID and they were extremely nice and told me to put my car in the garage and go inside. I was with them for less than 5 minutes and he passed by slow. I told them that was him and then they told me that they would follow him with me on the phone and I can start driving so we can keep tabs on him. I agreed and the entire time the guy was blowing up my phone. Messaging me tell me that I'm meant to be his and that my daughter is his and we'll have more children. Then he started calling me all the words in the book of how nasty I am for ditching him and that he'll finish me when he sees me. That was 5 years ago, and I'm still alive. Thanks to the Latino family who helped me. Stay careful out there. I think the devil was at my mom's house. This has happened 6 years ago and I swear it's true. I used to live about 30 minutes away from my mom's house and my daughter got sick so I couldn't take her to daycare. She was 3 at the time. I asked my mom if she could watch her for the day and she agreed, but she got called into work and told me I can stay the night in her room with my daughter and she'll be home in time for me to leave so I can get to work on time. I had an 8 to 5 job. I agreed, and when I told my ex, who is my daughter's bio dad, he wasn't happy and told me he was coming too. We spent the night there and it was the scariest thing ever. My mom had a large queen bin and it was pushed against the wall since it was just her. Her room had 2 windows and her room was in the back. Her house is fenced up too, so no cats or dogs can walk back there. I feel like this is necessary to describe and you'll see why. When you go into my mom's room, straight ahead is one window, and to the right is the second window. Well, it's past 10 p.m. and my daughter was against the wall so she wouldn't fall off the bed. Then it was me in the middle, and then baby daddy. That night we were all connected in some wicked experience. All night I did not sleep. My daughter was moving a lot and crying, punching and screaming and then sitting up and talking. She never does this, she would say things to stop and leave her alone. I was patting her back and telling her it was okay. Baby daddy did not wake up once, but that was typical. My experience was terrifying. The door to the room was locked since I'm just used to it and I'm glad I did this night. While I was awake, I kept feeling something heavy and dark around the house. And I would see shadows passing by my mom's window, but it was something huge. Like 8-9 feet tall and just massive. Then I heard walking in the house. There was no one else there besides us 3, and by this time it was already 3-4 a.m. The walking at first sounded like heels, but my mom never wears heels. Then it started sounding like hoofs. But 1-2, like it was walking on 2 legs, and I heard it stop in front of my mom's door, and start jiggling the doorknob. I kept pushing and trying to wake up baby daddy, but nothing, and then my daughter started to stand and scream, begging to whatever was bother her to leave her alone. I was terrified and didn't know what was going on. It knocked on the door 3 times, but then started leaving. I saw the shadow in the backyard again, but this time it was descending. Punk-ass phone went off for the alarm for him to get ready for work since he started around 5 a.m. He woke up with no problem. When we looked at each other, he told me, "I had the scariest dream, can we talk later?" I just nodded and finally laid down since I saw the sun come up. My alarm went off 2 hours later for me to get ready. Later that night, Punk told me his dream. He said he was in a house and that everything was in first person, but he wasn't actually there. While he walked through the house, he saw a little boy wet and almost naked running and trying to lock all the doors and windows. He said he saw this huge creature walking from the outside house and passing every window, and then this creature got inside and was going straight to the boy, and the boy was thrashing and screaming, begging the creature to go away. He said he tried to wake up but he couldn't do anything. I told my mother and she got weird about it, but said she'll look for someone to do a cleanse in the house.